Modern life feels like a constant battle to protect our focus. We are surrounded by relentless noise, each alert demanding a piece of our day. Most self-help strategies suggest building a fortress. We are told to block out negativity and avoid toxic environments to preserve our internal calm. This logic views human attention as an intake valve. In this model, external things enter the mind and dictate how we feel, making our surroundings the primary driver of our emotional state. We spend hours curating our digital feeds and physical spaces, operating under the assumption that if we can stop the wrong impressions from entering our headspace, we will remain intact. Our relationship with the world has become an exercise in self-preservation. We treat focus as a resource that must be shielded from a reality that is constantly trying to change us. However, this defensive strategy ignores a massive category of our time: the moments spent on content that leaves no lasting impression at all. We all recognize the habit of mindless scrolling or staring into space, moments where we feel nothing is gained, yet we assume nothing is lost. We categorize this as harmless downtime. If it fails to trigger anxiety or create a lasting memory, we believe it simply disappears without leaving a mark. This assumption relies on the idea that our attention only matters when it's receiving something. But we have to consider the opposite. What if the act of looking is itself a form of giving? In 1912, Rabbi Sholem Dovber of Lubavitch detailed a perspective that challenges the intake valve model. His teachings, recorded in the discourse Mamer Basha Shehikdimu 5672, provide a different mechanical framework for human focus. The text describes attention as a projective force. To engage with something is to output energy into it, making the observer an active participant in the life of the object. This relies on the concept of spiritual vitality. It suggests that every person carries a finite amount of divine life force that powers their conscious mind. Focus acts as a bridge. When you look at the world, you are reaching out and touching it with your own vitality, animating whatever you choose to involve yourself in. This spiritual economy operates on a specific transaction. Every object you involve yourself in absorbs a fraction of your spiritual vitality. During mindless consumption, even when content leaves no impression on your memory, your vitality continues to flow toward it. The trivial object lives off the consciousness you invest. It gains a temporary artificial life sustained entirely by your steady drain of internal light. When you look away, you are left dimmer than when you started. The transaction was entirely one-sided. Intentional engagement works differently. When you focus on something meaningful, that investment often triggers a mutual exchange, returning energy and insight back to you. Mindless consumption is a one-way donation of your life force to the void. You spend your finite vitality to animate things that never give it back. Viewing our modern digital habits through this lens changes the meaning of our daily exhaustion. We are often unknowingly spending our conscious energy to power digital ghosts, trivialities and distractions that offer no spiritual or intellectual return. If every act of focus siphons away a piece of our internal energy, then a day spent on mindless scrolling leaves us literally depleted. We feel hollow because we have distributed our consciousness into things that cannot hold it. This suggests that burnout may be the result of quietly bleeding our vitality into the void. This perspective establishes a new standard for how we choose to live. Intentionality becomes a question of what we are willing to output, rather than just what we need to block. It requires a shift in how we evaluate our interactions with the world, with our media, and our own thoughts. We move past asking if a distraction is harmless and begin asking, is this worthy of my life force? Choosing where to look is the primary way we manage our internal energy. It is the act of deciding which parts of the world are worthy of being animated by our own life.